This is Robert Mardlacci, Chief Digital Publisher of This Week in Canadian Coworker e-magazine at the Mindshare Learning Report in Arrow Mills Town Center in the great city of Mississauga. I'm honored to have joined me for a second in a series of video casts, Sharon Shilmover, money mindset, success coach, mentor, and speaker. Thank you for joining me from Toronto. How are you doing today in week 4 of this COVID-19 challenge that we're experiencing, let's call it?
Absolutely. I think we are a month into it, Robert. I'm doing well. How are you doing? How are you managing?
I'm well. I'm adapting. I'm prioritizing, reevaluating, tweaking my business strategy. We've created the Mindshare TV episodes out of this. So we're adapting and seizing the opportunity to redefine our priorities in business. And I'm enjoying getting some extra workouts in and trying to be as positive as possible in these challenging times.
Absolutely. And I think that that's the number one thing that we need to look at is what can we do with the time that we do have? And when we're outside of our home, working in an office space, working the 9 to 5, for example, with going and meeting clients, working in the office space, that time is restricted. And what I mean by restricted is we have a schedule that we have filled, that's the norm. And with that new norm now, we can actually meet more clients. We can get out to more clients. It's seeing the opportunity to get out to more clients, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that.
Absolutely. And what I found interesting this past week is that I've been reaching out to some of our followers and recipients of our newsletter and reaching out and connecting, and they really value, first of all, I'm checking in to see how they're doing. Most importantly, how's your health? How's your family? And they really appreciate that. And then second is a conversation around business and how can we help each other? And it's never been a greater time to be able to do that now that we have a little breathing room, isn't it?
Absolutely. Well, you know what, if we look back at time and if we look back at history, time during economic downtime, it is known that the emergence of entrepreneurship, innovation, creation, new businesses is really, really high. And so that's no different than right now during COVID-19. And I say that because it is when people truly, truly take a look at themselves and decide how I walked into this. Is that how I want to walk out of this? Right? And so those who are strong, those who really take the time to look into themselves, look at the current model, what's working, what's not working. How do I want to level up? That's how they're going to walk out of this. And not just current businesses. It's new businesses, new entrepreneurs.
Emerging.
Exactly.
Necessity is the mother of invention, isn't it?
Absolutely. Because it's every single time that we have a downtime in a downwards turn in an economy, we know that new businesses emerge, new entrepreneurs emerge. It's a really high time for that. But there's a reason for it because there's two schools of people. The one school of people who look at this and say, I'm going to crush it. And then there's the other school of people who lean on the excuses and say, because of, I'm not going to make it. Because of, I can't do anything. And I think it's a very important question to ask ourselves, and everybody needs to ask themselves this. How do I want my 2020 to look? Do I want it to be the best year of my life? Or do I want to look back and say to myself, because of COVID-19, I didn't reach my goal. Because of COVID-19, I was not able to. So how do you want to look back at your 2020?
Absolutely. I noted today was the first day back to school at home learning for many families across Canada and beyond. And I can only imagine the stress that it's brought upon. I'm co-working at home, technically, but I miss my community. I miss the collaboration. I miss the space of going somewhere. uh, perhaps you can offer up some advice for the parents who are trying to co-work at home and educate their kids and, balance things off.
So I'd actually like to talk to both, if you don't mind.
Sure.
One of the biggest things I hear is, I'm okay with working from home. I'm enjoying my time at home. It's the fact that I'm being told I can't go anywhere that bothers me, and so
Right.
missing that community time, exactly what you said, missing the people that we work with. And so having that schedule for you during the day is essential, and scheduling you first. I always say schedule you first. When you
Great advice.
right? You schedule you
Hmm.
first, schedule your lunch, you schedule your break, you schedule your exercise, and then you schedule work. And what you can then do is schedule a webinar or phone calls with your friends, your colleagues that you normally would see. You can schedule like a happy hour with a couple of coworkers once a week or twice a week. It gives you that sense of still belonging and still communicating, and you can still have that once a week where you collaborate with each other and still see each other. It gives
On
you
that note, we're doing our Friday feast virtually that we did in the past with our coworkers at the workspace.
that's awesome. So there's still ways for us to keep that sense of community with the people that we worked with, that we loved, and still be able to see them and still collaborate with them. And when it comes to the parents, this is a whole new territory for parents. And I think first and foremost is number one, take a deep breath and be easy on yourself. The first thing we do instinctually is we berate ourselves for not knowing, and we berate ourselves for what we perceive as a failure. And what I mean by that is we expect ourselves to know everything and do everything perfectly. And what I noticed on social media, I went on social media even on Friday and took a look at what some parents were writing. And parents were frustrated at this whole e-learning, all the material, everything they needed to know, and everything that they missed that they needed to do for their child that day. And they felt like they were failing. So here's what I want to say about the new norm. You see, this is a new norm for all of us. My norm is not the same as your norm. Your norm is not the same as somebody else. And what's to say that my norm is the right norm? And we're all trying to just get a bit of something on somebody, information. And so it's gathering of the information and making that information yours so it fits you and your lifestyle, you and your child's lifestyle. And there is no failure. You're not failing. And I know this to be true for a reason. Because every single day that you try something and you do something, you've learned maybe what didn't work so that tomorrow you know what to do that will work. And so there's no failure in that. You have to take a
Right.
deep, you have to pull back and say that today I'm doing the best I can with what I have. And that this is something new for you. You can't be expected to know it all, and you don't need to do it all. And so carve out a schedule for yourself and say, these are the things you test out today, and do those. And use a schedule when it comes to your children as well. And let them have some ownership in it. When they feel like they have ownership in it, they're going to be excited about what they're doing. And don't feel, you have a schedule, you don't feel like you have to get it all done that day. And we have to
Right.
on ourselves and not berate ourselves. And I think that's going to be easier to get transitioned into this whole e-learning.
Great advice. Thank you for that. You're a bit of a social media guru and really embrace some of the tools. How can businesses stay relevant who typically haven't been embracing? Maybe you can offer some tips on how they can better position themselves if they haven't been as transparent on social media. It's never too late.
Absolutely. I think social media is amazing because social media, number one, has everybody that you do know and everybody that you don't know. And so you never know who's watching you on social media. There are so many tools that you can use on social media. You can host your webinars and connect them to social media, number one. The second thing is that you can actually go live on social media and use the tools within Facebook, for example, to send your message out. And I think what's really great about social media is you're getting out to more than one person. You're getting out to the masses and serving. You're telling them what you're all about, what your business is all about. And you can start small and then get bigger. Use more of the tools. A lot of people are very nervous about it, but the reality is that social media is your friend. And so when you use the tool to get on there, spread the word, tell them what you're about, the biggest tip I can give people is that be clear in your message. What I find is a
Great
lot of,
advice.
right? They go live and they one day are doing one thing, the next day they're cooking, the next day they are selling coffee, the next day they're talking about this. So if you really want to promote yourself, make sure that you're talking about what your business is. Still show who you are, show your personality, show the picture of your dog, show the picture of your family. But if you're going live and you want to promote your business, promote your business. Right now is the time that people are looking for who's open, because so
For
many
business.
things, right? And so if somebody, for example, if you're a realtor, somebody could have lost their realtor because their realtor has retracted.
Right.
They're worried. They think there's no business out there. And so that person could be watching you, and that person could be.
Right. Yeah. What's interesting is my business is growing on the learning side. And I have a webinar I'm going to do with the ed tech sector to help them navigate and understand the complexities, the opportunities, and the trends that are emerging right now to meet the needs of learners at home and parents and teachers. So it's never been a more exciting time to be in education, I'd like to say.
Oh, absolutely.
And speaking of education, you've been publishing of late and madly.
I have been. Well, and again, social media, right? Here's the thing about social media. Right now, where is everybody going? Everybody's going on social media because that's where everybody can meet. We can't go outside to meet. We can't meet in the parking lot. We can't meet in the park. We can't meet at the store. We can't meet at the mall. Nothing is open. And so everybody's meeting and congregating on social media. And so we can make collaborations on social media. We can connect with like-minded people on social media. And so ask yourself, what is it that I do? What is it that I want to promote? What is it that I have that I can help people with? What you put out there is what you'll get in return. And so I wanted to be in a magazine and I wanted to be able to publish. And I use social media in my power to be able to do that. And so I've been lucky enough and grateful enough to be able to do, the words doesn't escape me for a moment, I apologize, but to have an article in Eligible magazine that's been published. And so we're moving into our third month of publication of articles. So I'm excited.
Congrats.
Thank you. The next one's coming out in the next week or so. And we've done a couple of ebooks now. The next ebook should be coming out in the next couple of weeks. And that one has to do with growing your business. And so, yeah, I've been busy. This is a time for us to look at social media, for us to be involved in social media, to grow your accounts, to speak with people and see who you can collaborate with, who you can work with, how you can help them and how they can help you.
Very well said. Brilliant. Thank you so much for your inspiration and insight this afternoon, Sharon.
Thank you.
That was Sharon Shilmover, mindset success coach, mentor, speaker, and now publisher of her own e-magazine series. My name is Robert Merblanchi of the Canadian Coworker e-magazine. Be sure to check out www.mindshareworkspace.com to get your latest issue. And then until next time, stay healthy, stay well, and keep the learning curve steep.